Hey, I'm George Edelman with that hashtag show. How are you both?
Hey
Great.
George.
How are
Uh,
you?
Good. Very excited to be here. There's a lot of interesting things going on with this one. Lotfy, I want to start by asking you. I'm really fixated on this scene where the stranger character is talking to Noah's character about backstory. And I thought a lot about, I think, what happened, what the history with, I don't want to give any too much away, but just kind of like the common knowledge of ancestry, let's just say. And it reminded me of things like Paradise Lost and John Milton. And I'm curious where you pulled all of the mythology, the history. Like, were you thinking about some of that character, the stranger's history as a figure in this arc?
Yeah, I absolutely was. I mean, that to me was something I didn't plan for going in. Satan, the stranger, as a character, initially was not in the early drafts of the script, but it occurred to me that, in the spirit of the apocryphal stories, which are supposed to kind of fill in the gaps, right? Um, it could be that Jesus encountered Satan, as a younger child, as a boy. Um, and that to me was really exciting. And it was kind of in line with this origin story that was growing. And in that, to with the whole effort to make these characters relatable and find their vulnerability, you go into the backstory, and I was working with a historian and researcher when I was writing the script, and just tried to get as much material as I could. So it was, the bits and pieces of what could have been backstory, and you try to find in the writing, um, what everyone's gripe is, where they're coming from. And had to do that for the devil as well. And if you read into it, Satan was, as the story goes, an angel in heaven,
Yeah.
you know, initially before being cast out. So you think about that and what that might have felt like from Satan's perspective.
Yeah, that it's fascinating there were drafts of this story without the dynamic. Noah, tell me a little bit about from your perspective. We see two versions of Satan on screen. Well, we see multiple, but performed by multiple people from different perspectives. As an actor playing this important character, how did you see that? How did you interpret that as like, why do I see a different one than, say, Nick Cage's character?
Um, yeah, I really like the idea of the different perceptions because I think it's so true of like darkness for us all. We all perceive it differently. Some of us like to hang out with it a lot closer than others. Some of us, don't ever want to see it. It's like the scariest thing. Some of us love to study it, you know? And so for me, this idea that everyone perceives it differently was great. And I think as well, specifically for the character of Jesus, is there's an extreme lack of judgment from him of people. There's an extreme uh he's extremely intrigued by people and emotions and internal thoughts. He's constantly watching people, he's constantly studying them, he's constantly trying to like understand what makes them tick. And that as a character trait was amazing, but also to have this with Isla, who plays the stranger of like this young girl, in a lot of ways looks maybe similar to him, feels a little bit similar to him. It shows that Jesus is not particularly judging the
Ah,
devil.
interesting.
He's he's looking at her from afar and wants to understand her. He's not as scared of her as say Joseph is. And
It's
that
not a
fear,
monster to him. Yeah.
exactly, to
Yeah.
him it's an angel fallen from heaven. And
Mm.
he wants to empathize with that angel and find a way to help her.
Em-
He
em-
wants to help her.
Empathy is the core thing of the story. And Latvia, I want to ask you about that because, the timing of this movie is wonderful. It's maybe always wonderful, but just a message of empathy across horror to one another. But talk about that and bring that message and talk about Nicolas Cage as a producer, just like having him on board in the way that he is. He's a force of nature on screen, but I imagine off the screen, and I'd love to hear about the collaboration.
Yeah, so the empathy conversation first, that
Yeah,
theme,
yes, thank you.
probably start with that. Yeah, I think to me that was important. It's let me think of how to describe this. I was interested in a story where we could arrive at the values of Christianity that a lot of people share and they interpret from the Bible at the end of this story. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And that was something that we could explore through a kind of like a very human, relatable ardor, and vulnerabilities that have to do with doubt and growing up and family. Um, so it was a balance. I think it was never any effort to knock the Christian faith in doing it. At the same time, I wanted to do this, all too human version of it, that I think was really important. And Noah found that so well. And I think that to find somebody arriving at that empathy, that forgiveness, that compassion in a way that we can relate to today, hopefully, I think is a really important thing, and that to me would hopefully be the takeaway.
Absolutely. Yeah, the empathy coming through at the end there is at an epic scale, truly. Um, just to wrap up then, I'm just curious, either of you talk a little bit about Nick. He is incredible. He's one of these people you got to watch, like you can't not watch, but also like what's his bringing as a producer and his kind of role in that collaboration too is interesting on this project.
Yeah. Noah, do you want to say something, or I can, whatever?
No, I just from my side, I think that um working with Nick was a true like genuine inspiration for me. I think I share a lot of the same qualities in him. I mean, I hope you can dream. In the sense of like his dedication and his also like he put his faith in Lotfy in this job, and as someone that's had such incredible experience in the industry, to come in and be like, I trust your vision to create this thing, and make it um powerful. That's really fucking cool
Yeah.
for him to do that and to just allow himself to be Lotfi's biggest tool, and to like mold the movie around him and me and our relationship. I thought, yeah, I was very impressed by him.
Well said. I have to wrap, guys. It's been really fun talking to you. Hope the movie does well and everybody enjoys it. Thanks so much for your time, everybody.